Hello, welcome. My name is Delyse, and we are going to be making sense of what it means to be needy and how we end up this way, the effect on our relationships, and 3 ways to start working on finding more satisfaction and less neediness. So there's a lot to cover. I really wanted to talk about this because it is a subject close to my heart. Quite frankly, this used to be me. I spent many years trying to get away from and denying this feeling of neediness, which only ended up making it worse. So I hope by talking about what I have learned and some of the ways I have found to work through it, that this will help those of you struggling with this to get there too. So first of all, what do I mean by needy? A lot of us have either felt that way or been around someone who they experienced as needy, and it is really an unpleasant experience all round. I would sum up the experience of neediness as an experience of longing for attention and connection. And when we don't get it, we're overwhelmed by feelings of hurt and rejection. This hurt and rejection feels so bad, and we just want to get rid of that feeling. And yet we have come to believe on some level that the only way to take away the hurt and rejection is to get attention and maintain a connection with someone. So we end up in this cycle of feeling bad and trying to get attention to make the bad feeling go away. The need for someone else's attention to take this bad feeling away is what I see as the crux of being needy and feeling needy. On top of that, we really don't want anyone to know that we are feeling this way because this need for attention feels so shameful, which leads to kind of desperately wanting to hide that you are feeling hurt or deny it, which makes it really difficult in a relationship for people to deal with what is going on. So on both sides of a relationship, strategies begin to develop. The person who's experiencing someone else's needy may end up pulling back from them and withdrawing because they don't want to feel so responsible for the hurt and rejection that is expressed, or sometimes just felt. They may have tried, but there is so much stigma around feeling needy, it is difficult to talk about. So if you're on the side of feeling needy and you're trying to hide it or defend yourself against being called out about it from those close to you, this is likely to lead to you ending up being indirect about wanting connection or attention because you don't want to be rejected. There is so much shame attached to the longing for attention or the hurt and rejected feelings that come as a result, that another strategy can be to shame the person who hasn't given you the attention you want as a way of not feeling the rejection, like there's something wrong with them, not you. So it is very likely in this scenario that the 2 people are going to become less and less connected, which unfortunately reinforces the feelings of hurt and rejection. Okay, so we have identified some of the experiences you might have around feeling needy and being in a relationship with someone where this is happening. So let's talk about how you get to this place of needing attention and feeling hurt and rejection. So it may come as no surprise, it starts in childhood. So when children are given attention that focuses on their experience, then whatever the need is in that moment has the possibility of being satisfied. Children can be given all sorts of attention that is not focused on their experience. So this is really important because when we feel satisfied, an experience is completed and we can move on. We are not left thinking about it or focused on it or stuck trying to satisfy that need ourselves. So let's take the example of being hungry. As a child, you start to feel hungry and you start to notice those sensations in your body of feeling hungry, in your stomach, and that signals that you need food. The younger you are, of course, you need the adults around you to be able to supply you with that food. So you then try and get attention of the adults around you. And if you're successful, they give you food and you eat the food, you feel satisfied, and you can move on, go out to play, do whatever. If you're unsuccessful about getting attention or the right kind of attention, then you're left with that feeling of hunger, those feelings in your body and in your stomach that you are then preoccupied by and you have to do something with. So that, in a nutshell, is the relationship between our needs being satisfied and the attention that we need from the adults around us in childhood. So along with getting our needs met, which is the focus of this video, it is also important to note that as part of this process of attention from adults in growing up, the brain learns and develops. Responsive attention, where the parent is engaged in the child's world, giving positive feedback, helps stimulate the brain's growth and development. So if we have more experiences of neglect, we end up with this build-up of feeling dissatisfied from our needs not being met and rejected and that we don't matter. And because it is relational, that is, children are looking to those around them to help in negotiating and satisfying those needs, then this dissatisfaction becomes associated with attention and connection. As time goes on, we begin to develop beliefs unconsciously about ourselves, such as our needs don't matter, we don't matter, no one is interested in connecting with us, and probably that we're unlovable. So it is important to understand at this point, perhaps, that children don't actually have to get attention 100% of the time in order to not end up dissatisfied and needy. In fact, it's important that it doesn't happen all the time, but the important thing is that it happens most of the time. Many of you might be saying, thank goodness, because that would be impossible. And of course, it would be. So if we do not get enough attention as a child to satisfy our needs, we come into adulthood feeling dissatisfied, deprived of attention, and a bunch of negative beliefs about ourselves and how people feel about us. So far we have talked a bit about the experience of neediness and how it makes sense by the way it develops through childhood. In the next video, we are going to talk more about what is happening in relationships and 3 ways to work on changing this. So if you like this video and want to hear more, remember to subscribe and leave comments about your experience of neediness. See you next time.